Every story needs to have an end. This is the first lesson in my story writing class. I am a typical Chinese student, like other Chinese students who started to prepare for the university exam called GaoKao from our primary school, our middle school, and our high school. This was taught by my Chinese teacher, who was telling me how to cope with the situation in exam when you're limited in time. You must end your story as a sentence and a period, even though you are not finished. If you do that, you will have much higher score. That was the first story writing class, and the thought was planted in my head. I have to finish my story with a beautiful end in my exam, and the completion of GaoKao is the end of my study story. In my primary school, almost all of my classmates were enrolled in extracurricular classes for math or English. I started learning high school math content in middle school because when I was ahead of others, these meant the opportunity to achieve a higher score. All of us seemed to consider the negative and stressful competition as usual and started to be familiar with the days that having dinner on buses or cars of our parents due to the limitation of time transporting to another class. Empowering the listener is an important skill for storytellers, and I just did the opposite. The experience of learning in Chinese system is so different from your study memories, and that is the reason for telling my story. When listening to other stories, it is easy to understand from your past experience, and the stressful learning of Chinese student might be more familiar with you as a mainstream voice. So, what about a story after the university exam, GaoKao? I was wrong. The end of GaoKao is definitely not the end of our story. At 18 and 19, we finished GaoKao and entered our own universities. Some people like me decided to study abroad as an international student, studying in a completely different environment. And some of my classmates entered great universities to continue their studies in China. Under the limited choices, we tried to find the best opportunity and seize it. In our own story, we never follow the set structure and adventure around the world to find the best ending of our own story. My story is just one of the numerous stories of Chinese students. Every year, in the university exam GaoKao, 340,000 students are given the same writing topic, but no one has the same story. This is one of the 340,000 stories, and hope one day you have the chance to see the other stories from our Chinese students.